Guys, I know I might be late on this topic, but hey, there's an update about the Epstein list. Let's take a listen.
We cannot let ourselves be distracted from Donald Trump's Jeffrey Epstein scandal, and that is exactly what he wants right now. Under the guise of inflamed political rhetoric, so many on the right will say that we can't talk about Epstein or be even remotely critical of Donald Trump, but I will not listen, and we do not have to, and we won't, especially after a news story was just broken out of Bloomberg.
For all the calls to release the Epstein docs, a whole new tranche just came out today, and it's not the ones people were expecting. Bloomberg got 18,000 leaked emails. These have never been public before, from Epstein's personal email account. He was using Yahoo.
So an article came out today in Bloomberg. I suggest you go read it. They got their hands on 18,000 emails from a Yahoo account from the guy that's in the files. They have stuff in there about his Amazon purchases, reactions that he had to pictures of young women. There are communications between him and some other people about what he felt about some plea deals that he was offered. It indicates in the file, in the emails, that Maxwell opened up bank accounts, foreign bank accounts for him. That the two of them discussed shared fertility treatments. All of this when she claimed that she didn't know him and she wasn't really involved with him, but they're discussing fertility treatments. I'm not sure what that's about. There's a spreadsheet with over 2,000 line items of gifts that he gave away to people, gifts and payments, including a $35,000 watch, a Lexus to his lawyer. Go read the article. I'm sure there'll be more information coming out once they start to confirm more of the details that are in the emails, but it's interesting.
Out of Bloomberg, who obtained 17,000 of Jeffrey Epstein's unseen emails, which go to show his connection to Trump and blow up this story like never before. We are going to get into it in the secret list that was revealed, the released emails. I want to start with the context that we need, the connection that has existed between Trump and Epstein all along that Rachel Maddow broke down right here.
What happened to the lawyer who got Epstein his bizarrely lenient plea deal when he was first arrested on sex trafficking charges in Florida? What happened to the lawyer who got him that bizarrely lenient plea deal? Well, Trump hired him to be his own lawyer. What happened to the U.S. attorney who gave Jeffrey Epstein that bizarrely lenient plea deal? Trump put him in his cabinet in his first term.
And it sheds new light on his predatory tactics. It also continues to reinforce what the DOJ under Ms. Comey, the now fired prosecutor, showed in her prosecution of Ghislaine Maxwell, that she was a big part of this criminal enterprise, not, as she said in her interview, some sort of hanger-on as people did consensual things. Now, as for the president, who has been so suspicious about this, who vowed to do transparency and then broke that vow, well, there's not a lot of clear new information that shows what Trump was up to with Epstein, although we know from prior information that they had a kind of social relationship. You've seen the photos. Bloomberg reports these newly released emails do demonstrate Maxwell's knowledge of the legal jeopardy Epstein faced all the way back in that first case that we've reported on from the 2000s in Florida, and that Epstein negotiated a plea deal in 2008. He sought her advice. Quote, question, which one do you prefer? Lewd and lascivious conduct or procuring minors for prostitution? Quite a grim question if you're choosing among those cases. Maxwell responding, quote, I suppose lewd and lascivious conduct. I would prefer lewd conduct with a prostitute if possible. Now they're discussing the plea deal, not whether he did all of the above.
So when he's going to go to jail, he says, can you stay around and manage everything?
Yeah.
And do you do that?
I do.
Okay. And then we'll come back to that.
I will not manage everything, no. I mean, there are other people at this point. My specific role then was very, very diminished.
This Epstein guy this guy is f***ed up. He's really a weird motherfucker. Because this guy, you tell me you're living your life right now. Are you documenting each and every piece of information? And even sending it to your emails and having books and having lists of people you meet and people you interact with. Like, are you doing that? Like, is that normal? To me, I think this is not normal, and Epstein is not a normal being. But hey, welcome back. My name is Danny, and I'm gonna be the host for today's show. There's been an update about the Epstein list, and this has been brought into light by Bloomberg. Was it September 12th or September 11th? Somewhere in between there. Sometimes my uploads are usually late when news breaking, maybe a day later, and I need to work on that. 18,000 new details and new emails from Yahoo. Yahoo is so old, but also you can tell like it's Epstein and it's definitely a boomer or something. That might add up, but like I was saying previously, there's a lot of high-profile figures in the interactions between Epstein and his clients. That list would not be released in its entirety, or when it will be released, there's a lot that would have been done in order to cover up a lot of redacted documentations, like the files the DOJ released. They are heavily redacted, right? And I know more and more will be released just because people are pressuring the administration. Yes, it will be released, but it will also be redacted. And I would say we release the files. These files are not important, just like Trump usually say it's not important to the country, but they are victims. Last week we saw victims who came and tried to hold a forum, trying to express themselves. I think I brought that video. I talked about it, how the victims came forward, and also how they are organizing another form of event to shed light, and it's that event that they are saying they are going to prepare their own Epstein list. But what I just want to say is that I hope these victims get justice. Justice is all that people ask for. And some people, I think, are being misled on how these Epstein files need to be received. People just want to see that these files have been released and big political names are in there, that Donald Trump is in there. That is what they want. But in real sense, these files, people need to advocate for these files to be released so that we have the names of the perpetrators, so that these victims can get justice. It's not only about the big names. No, these big names plus justice. Not big names and then you are satisfied and then now you want to pull out. We need to have these people who are in the list, who are perpetrators, to be held accountable for the action they did to these victims. These victims need to have justice. People are confusing that with, I think, the satisfaction, which is pretty crazy to me, right? There is more to unpack. Let's continue listening and also to get more about the Bloomberg brought about.
Finally, Peter Mandelson's been sacked. And let's be clear, this wasn't because of rumours, this was because the receipts dropped. Emails from 2008 where Mandelson is literally urging Epstein, a convicted child sex offender, to fight hard against a conviction for child prostitution. What? A senior British politician writing to a man convicted of abusing children, telling him to keep fighting, calling him his best pal, writing lines like, your friends stay with you and love you. This isn't a small slip. This is rot at the top. Because while ordinary people get crucified for a badly worded tweet, the political elite close ranks and protect their own, even when it's a convicted PDF. And our illustrious Starmer only acted once it was impossible not to. He defended Mandelson's appointment, said vetting had been done. Turns out the vets neither missed it or, worse, they just didn't care. So here's the real question. How many more skeletons are rattling around in Westminster's closet? Because if Mandelson can cozy up to Epstein, what else have these people been covering up for each other? This isn't left or right. This is about trust, power, and a ruling class that thinks the rules don't apply to them. And I'll tell you this, people are waking up.
Breaking news out of Downing Street just behind me this morning. Peter Mandelson has been sacked as US ambassador. Keir Starmer gave his man the bullet after reading new bombshell emails overnight, laying bare his
deep relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. He was staying on Jeffrey Epstein's island while Epstein was in prison. He did business deals with Epstein after Epstein was out of prison. Of course, he was in prison for his relationships with 14-year-old girls. The mea culpa interview that he failed to do with Harry Cole, instead portraying himself as the victim on Harry Cole's YouTube channel. Oh, well, it's so regrettable. He lied to me. I feel so terrible. It's been an albatross around my neck. I mean, that sickened me, frankly. But it leaves so many questions as to why he was appointed in the first place. Is this just a ridiculous lack of judgment by Sir Keir Starmer? Was he ignoring the dossiers and the due process that surely the intelligence agencies did ahead of this appointment? Did they fail to point out that Mandelson had had this relationship with Epstein? I'm afraid this, to me, begs more questions than it answers.
Absolutely. I mean, Keir Starmer will go down in history as the Prime Minister with the worst judgment ever for a British Prime Minister. I mean, this man knew that Mandelson had a very textured past. He knew that, you know, he'd been closely linked with Epstein. This is all before he appointed him. I remember when we broke the news about Mandelson being appointed, we said he's known as the Prince of Darkness around Westminster. I mean, how could Keir Starmer choose this person to be the ambassador to the US? I mean, this is the most important diplomatic job in the country and internationally, and he's appointed this man. I mean, as we can see from the past couple of days, him having to effectively fire his deputy when she resigned, but she could no longer exist there. That's his terrible judgment. We had Louise Haigh, the transport secretary, having to go. We've had Shabana Mahmood having to replace Yvette Cooper. Him basically admitting that he knew absolutely not how to fill the cabinet when he came into power. This man knows nothing, yet he's running our country. I mean, it's really, really shocking that he would put his cronies in place and not care about what the public perception is. And that's what it really shows with Mandelson, is that he had no idea that the public would react this way.
What is so shocking to me? I mean, yesterday I thought Kemi had a blinder of a Prime Minister's questions when she was really trying to ask Sir Keir Starmer, what did you know? Of course, he didn't answer that question. The man is a ghoul and a liar. But then he kept saying, Starmer, oh, well, due process was followed, because that's the only record that he seems to have in his collection. Now, what is astonishing with this is Stephen Doughty, the Foreign Office Minister, has now told the Commons that Mandelson has been sacked, and he's just spoken to MPs in the last few moments and said this: in light of additional information in emails written by Peter Mandelson, the Prime Minister has asked the Foreign Secretary to withdraw him as ambassador to the United States. Oh, there you go. It's always the playbook of Sir Keir Starmer. Oh, look, something's come to light with an official document or report. Now I know what decision to take. He goes on to say the emails show that the depth and extent of his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein is materially different from that known at the time of his appointment. If there are emails between a convicted, notorious paedophile criminal who has made headlines in America, right, throughout the whole presidential campaign, and this is the appointment of the UK's ambassador to America, and we're being told that these emails have only just come to light, it really does raise some eyebrows about whatever the due process and the security scrutiny involved.
Yes, our box-ticking sort of lawyer Prime Minister won't act on emotion, won't act on what the public wants, but will react to findings and box-ticking of emails. I mean, these emails are deplorable. It shows that after Jeffrey was convicted of pedophilia, Peter Mandelson emailed him saying, we love and support you, and was giving him legal advice on how to serve a lesser sentence. I'm sorry, what? This is the person who is representing the United Kingdom on the global world stage, and this is who Keir Starmer picked? I mean, there are a lot of questions that have to be raised about this, and I wouldn't be surprised if Keir Starmer, I mean, we don't know, but if he knew a lot about this. I mean, we know that there are a lot of whisperings in Westminster that go on. I just think that there was something nefarious in Keir Starmer even picking him in the first place. He had so many options. Why would he pick Peter Mandelson?
Do you know what? I must admit, Samara, I go down that exact route, that maybe that connection with Epstein, he thought would be some form of clever leverage. I have no idea. It's a very, very strange appointment indeed. And as per usual, when he is caught with his pants down, Starmer suddenly seems to appear to do the right thing. He is a man who is Teflon to responsibility. Nothing's ever his fault. It's always the fault of someone else. He can't take a decision. He has to delegate to someone to write to report. He makes sure, therefore, he goes, well, now I didn't want to do it, but this person's told me I have to, and so it's the right thing to do. This is the man with the most responsible position in this country, who himself is incapable of taking any responsibility. The man is an utter embarrassment. He's a ghoul. Oh, Samara, thank you ever so much. It's brilliant catching up with you. That's the fantastic.
As you can see, that update really had an impact, not only in the United States of America, but far and beyond, all the way to our lords in the British Empire. Yes, the United Kingdom. It's really tough to think that Boris Johnson was among one of the worst prime ministers in the UK. And to think that is someone worse than Boris Johnson? This guy has really broken the record. I don't know if he's still in power, because I saw there's a time in the UK were protesting against him. Yeah, they wanted to remove him as the prime minister of the UK. England, not the UK. Why am I confusing these two? I think England. This guy has really taken the British Empire to shambles. Oh my god. There's a lot that is happening in England right now. A lot of social media gagging, arrests that are really stupid, and matters that really need that government eye are being ignored. Like, for instance, I'm seeing gangs in London, gangs in the streets of England, and these matters are not addressed. But his administration is seeing the police dressing and going to parks running in order to catch people who are catcalling. I'm like, you're not arresting the real PDFs, but you're doing a stance like this to arrest people. You're baiting people to arrest. Oh my god. And you expect someone like this to appoint a reasonable person or to do due diligence in order to do a background check on someone who they are appointing to be ambassador to the US? It's just insane. So there we have it, the update that Bloomberg suggested the Yahoo emails that Epstein had has led to the sacking of Peter Mandelson, one of those big figures, of course, in the political landscape. And that's why I was telling you that this update is really huge. And I'm sure there are also some leaders in the United States of America who are also in this. It's just that the names have not been, maybe the names are there, but not yet released to the public and saying these people did this or these people did that. But I'm sure there is a storm coming. When more and more details drop from this Epstein case, some are going to prison. This person was really crazy, man. I think he wasn't going down alone. Some people had suspicions about his death, and my curiosity side is telling me something might have happened. I don't think he passed because of what they said, that I'm gonna get into trouble because of that. I'm just speculating, don't come at me. Yeah, I don't think that really happened the way they said it. This person had a lot of secret from musicians, people in the entertainment world, politicians, businessmen, cartels, you name it. He had this power of linking weird people at the same time. You people thought someone like Diddy was crazy. Epstein was in another level, bro. It's not bad to link up, people from the rich class or political class, but linking up and also engaging in activities with literally 14-year-olds, like what the, it's not right. And that's how we are now insisting on the release of this fight, so that we know the perpetrators who did this to these little girls who are not even of age, don't even think of age. Like, these people are really young, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds. These are really young persons to be engaged in this act. It's literally trafficking or human trafficking at this point. It's just a lot. It's vile to think about it. Grown-up men, grown-up women engaging in activities with minors. Names need to be released. These people need to be taken accountable. And I know there is not only this update, there's more to come. This is a topic that is gonna be talked about for the longest until justice is handed to these victims. Victims need justice. Many more people who are talking about this need to continue talking. We cannot stop until justice has been handed to these people, and I hope it does. We cannot hide these people's names because maybe they are holding big positions, I don't know what. It just means that these people are above the law if justice cannot be handed to the victims. That's just about it. I know some people would disagree with me. I know some people would agree. Some people would have different opinions. But hey, it needs us to read deep or to dig deep into this matter to understand, so that we can have even more candid discussions And if you disagree with my opinions or any other speakers who've been featured in this video, please do so in the comment section, but do so respectfully. I really like different thoughts and opinions. It's really insightful, especially when I'm making updates of such topics. Don't also forget to check the speakers that are featured in this segment today. Their usernames have been embedded in the Stitch videos as always. Go onto their TikToks, follow, like their videos. For this channel, make sure you smash a huge thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to the channel. Turn on post notifications so that you may not miss my next upload. And with that, guys, Danny here signing out. Peace out.